How are you looking for tomorrow? Any fresh injuries or whatever?
No injuries. We're all set. We're all good to go. The only one obviously still out is Oz. We've got to be mindful of managing Priestley at the minute because of he's coming back from where he's coming back. It's kind of with Priestley, we're at the end of his pre-season, if that makes sense. So we're still managing him. The aim for Priestley will be to go a full 90 minutes on Tuesday. It is the aim, and then for him to be fully available for selection. But he's on the right path at the minute.
And terrific win on Tuesday. What have you made of the draw?
Really pleased to get an away game, a Premier League club for the football club is really beneficial to us, and it'd be a great experience for everybody, for the players, the staff, the supporters. So we're really looking forward to it. But as we know, we've got quite a few games before that.
But financially, it's for any League Two club, no mind your own, which is it looks decent financially. It's a great boost, isn't it? Almost better being away, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, it is, because obviously you get the as it's been mentioned in recent times, that you get 45% of the gate. So that's really beneficial to us and helps us with regards to our programme and making the football club as secure as possible. And
it's fair to say you celebrated wildly on the back of the final whistle.
I did, and it was a really amazing night. The first one I've been able to witness be part of as a manager at Rodney Parade in that cup night, if you like, was a really special evening.
Not over the top.
Yeah, probably was a little bit, but there's probably a little bit of context behind that, and I think that I've kept it back a little bit to what's gone on in the last probably 6 weeks with myself. Is that we've kept it under wraps at the club. Is that I found out leading up to pre-season and during pre-season, after I had a checkup with the LMA. I have a checkup every year with the LMA with regards to my medical status, if you like, as part of what we get. And within that time, I found out that I had something called complete AV heart block, which are the worst kind you could get as well, which is 3rd degree. So wasn't a great situation I was in personally, leading up to that time during pre-season. And the week leading up to the Sutton game, I had to have a pacemaker fitted to be able to keep me alive, basically. And I'm probably really fortunate to be here in many ways. And I suppose the reason why I want to mention that is because we talk about different things about this football club, about having values and about how we are and about being one club, one county. And the players and the staff during that period had really stepped up. Results probably not have gone our way to where we want them to be, but with regards to what we were trying to do and what we were trying to achieve, I was really proud of them. And I've been proud of how the football club's managed me in that time with regards to the chairman and the board. And the players and the staff have been fantastic. And I really just want to give them credit for this period. And I didn't want to talk about this off the back of losses. I wanted to talk about this off the back of wins, but in many ways, I'm more grateful that I'm here, but also grateful to the players and the staff for what and the football club for what they've done for me.
When you were diagnosed, how big a shock was that? And you just said, you are lucky to be here.
Yeah, it was a shock because it's believe it or not, it's found in athletic hearts, this disease, if you like, that they found. So it's something that was a surprise, a shock to me, to my family. I didn't tell the players until a couple of days before I was having the operation. They weren't aware of it until I was going in for the op, and it was something that I wasn't expected to get at the age of 37. It's nothing to do with football management. It's nothing to do with stress related. It's purely down to something that's just been picked up. And put it this way, if I wasn't a manager, I wouldn't know I had this. So I'm really lucky to be where I am.
And if you don't know, it can be terminal. Is that right?
Well, yeah, it's just you go into cardiac arrest. So it's like, so I don't know the full extent of it, but if you look at Daley Blind, I believe, has got a pacemaker fitted. What happened with Christian Eriksen? You look at ROWBERRY when he was at Tottenham, and you look at other people who've sadly passed away through cardiac arrest. But it's something that I'm fortunate that now, with what I've got fitted, if you like, I'm in the safest place possible.
And I suppose, you know, the LMA regularly test their members, managers, coaches. I suppose you've had them for years, have you?
No, because this is you only get it when you become a manager.
Oh, right.
So it's something that it's been picked up during this period. It's just something that comes on. I've had checkups before, but this is just something totally new, and I'll be forever grateful to the LMA, because if it wasn't for them and the work that Sophie Cliff does and Ali Betson, and if it wasn't for them, then who knows?
Wow, it really does put it all in perspective, though, doesn't it, for you and your family, I suppose?
It does, and I think that's the thing to bear in mind with it all, is that it's because we live in it, or we live in the city, and we witness and feel everything that goes on. When there's a little bit of frustration, I suppose the emotion then when we beat Tranmere was there from my family, but then also from me, because I'm just pleased for the city. I'm pleased for the club when we're winning, but there's that little bit more context behind this one.
And are there no? You've had the pacemaker fitted now, and so you're perfectly fine now. There's no. You don't have to take it easy. Did you have to take it easy at Sutton?
Yeah, that's why I was sitting on the box at Sutton. I think I got a bit of stick for it, but for the first couple of weeks, I felt horrendous. I felt, you know, the Sutton game, the Walsall game, the Luton game, and parts of the Bradford game, I wasn't feeling great with it. But I just kind of wanted to get on with it. Got a really good assistant, a first-team coach, a goalkeeping coach, and what I have got is a medical team behind me who are aware of everything. So with regards to it, I was supposed to be a lot calmer on the side. Not sure that I was. I can see Chris probably shaking his head and raising his eyebrows. Not sure if I was calm on the side, but it was something I had to try and be a little bit calmer about. But it was that was a little bit of a tough period for me. But we got through it, and we got to the other side of it, and it's just, I want to pay credit to my players and my staff, because where we're at is because of a lot of work that they put in.
And where you're at now is 2 wins on the bounce.
2 wins on the bounce, and that really pleases me against 2 strong opposition, and we've got to try and continue that and keep pushing that forward and trying to achieve what we want to achieve. But we have to look at each game as it comes, and we got this next game mentality, and this next game is Harrogate.
And what are you expecting there?
A tough game. They've mixed up their stars in the last couple of games that I've seen. They can play, they can be progressive and play through the lines, especially if Dooley plays. But also they can be direct and go into Armstrong and cause teams problems. But they play 3-5-2. They play variations with it in midfield to try and create different overloads. But they play a really good system, a really good way. What's important for us is that we got to keep implementing our principles. Irrelevant of what system we play, our principles must always be evident, and that's what we've got to try and do. And
I suppose it would help. Well, we don't have to worry about your ticket now, but it would help if you didn't keep falling behind in each game.
Yeah. It would be great if we didn't do that, but we showed that we can come through that bit of adversity, and we can bounce back from little setbacks.
Cheers, James, and we appreciate you being upfront with us, seriously, because I think it's a message that needs to get around as well.
Yeah, and I think on the back of that, it's not. I'm not trying to make this about me, but obviously off the back of it, I want to try and raise as much awareness as possible around different conditions, and that's something that I feel will be my responsibility now because of what's happened to me, and I'm one of the fortunate ones, if you like, that I need to raise awareness around different heart conditions and charities that are available. So that's something that I'll be doing along with the football club in due course.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Good stuff, James, because, well, I was married before and my wife passed away from an undetected heart condition. So right. You are incredibly lucky to
I am.
be here. Yes.
I am, and it's it's something that I'm one of the lucky ones. So when I go to work every day and say what I say, I've got the best job in the world because I'm lucky to do what I'm doing. That's genuine. That's genuine, and that's heartfelt.
Is your family, they're still don't mind you being a manager and all that, because presumably you're all right.
I think just for me to say that me having this condition is nothing to do with being a manager. It's something that's come on. That is found in athletic heart. So it's the same with what happens when you've seen players collapse on pitches because of lack of oxygen and blood flow to the brain is what happens with it. And there's many ways of me looking at it. It's probably more difficult for my father, my mother, and my wife, my grandmother, because of they know fully the context behind everything, and they've known everything all the way along. It's harder for them, and then when they see what happens, and maybe I get a bit of stick about things, I think they take it a little bit personally, but it doesn't bother me. That's part of the job. But the context behind it's been a period where it's been challenging, but I can't speak highly enough of the football club, the group of players, my senior group, especially my captain, who Matty's really stepped up in that period as a captain, along with the other lads, your Mickeys and your Robbies, and then obviously the rest of my staff. But it's been a period where I'm just grateful to be here. So long may that continue.
You got a special club with Mark O'Brien? You pair?
Yeah, that's it. And we seem to, and that's where I've got this slight affinity to Mark in that, and knowing what he's been through. It's a different condition in this situation, but he's had something taken away from him, and he's had adversity. So I haven't had anything taken away from me, so it's a little bit different. But I'm one of the fortunate ones. So it's something that's my job now, is to raise awareness. I feel it's my responsibility to do that.
Will you have any extra checks, or is it just?
No, it's just the case of with the pacemaker, you have to have an operation every 10 years to have a new battery put in to keep me ticking over. So that's one thing I have to do. But I've the cardiologist who did it, Professor Zaid Youssef, I've known for a really long time from my Cardiff days, and the operation, he's probably one of the best cardiologists in around in sport. So I was lucky that I was able to have it done with him, someone I knew as well, which I was pleased with. So I had the operation on the 25th of August, and then I was back in training on the Wednesday, believe it or not, which didn't take full training, but I was around it. But the lads run it themselves, and that's why when I speak about Carl and I speak about Matty and Jared and Jim and the rest of the staff and OB and Keith, they're the ones who really have stepped up to make sure that we've been able to operate as well as what we have.
Is this a cynical plea to refs to be nice to you?
No, and it's not, because I've laid off referees because of that. I need to save my energy a little bit more. I know that I'm not going to get anything back from them. So I said to somebody the other day, I said, you've got the hardest job in the world as a referee, then I've got the second hardest job. So it's kind of like we've got to help each other out a bit.
Onto the football. Presumably Scott Bennett and James Clark, they were just rested in midweek. Yes. For keeping fresh.
I felt as though because when we looked at the load of them both, they've gone higher, because obviously James had been off for a period of time, and then he's played back-to-back 90 minutes, so we needed to make sure that he could rest. And the same with Scott, really, with his minutes and his load, that we just want to try and make sure we've got everybody available. And
you've got your selection headaches, and also your formation one. Harrogate tend to go on 3-4-2-1, I think primarily. Does that come into your thinking, or do you just do what you do well? Is that?
Yeah, it does come into my thinking, because if you look at what we did against Portsmouth, we knew they were going 4-4-2, and we felt as though by playing a box that in midfield we could get a greater press and pressure on them, which is something that I wanted to do. We wanted to do, we felt as though we could do it with the energy in the team. With Harrogate, it might be slightly different. Don't want to give too much away on it, but what we've got to do is stick to our principles about getting a good press on the ball, but also trying to create overloads to be able to get success, so then we can counter press like we did on Tuesday night.
And what are the challenges of their formation with Armstrong at top? What are the challenges that brings?
Yeah, I think the big thing, we've got to try and stop the supply at source. We've got to try and get a good press on them. I think that's really important, is that if we can press high to stop the supply into Armstrong, then it depends if Daly plays off him or Dooley plays in midfield, because he's been injured. They can try and play through him. But we then just got to really focus on us. I know it's cliche of a manager to say it, but we've got to then focus on our principles and what we're trying to do and what we're trying to achieve.
And finally, for me, Lewis Collins, I know Will Evans got a lot of good praise, rightly so. Lewis Collins in that sort of different role. I know him and Will were a bit fluid at times, but sort of, how pleased were you with his energy and what he never stopped, did he, in that sort of
what I'm pleased with Lewis the most, we got to forget Lewis is only young. I think because he's been at the football club for such a long time, we think he's 28, 29 years of age. He's not, he's 21, 22. So his level of maturity during pre-season has come on leaps and bounds, which I think then is reflected in his performances. So where in the past maybe Lewis showed disappointment in making mistakes in himself, and when left out, he doesn't do that anymore. And I said to him on Wednesday, is that I've been really proud of him, because of his performances have shown greater maturity in this time, where sometimes in the past it's probably not. And I've watched him from afar, and I remember him coming on trial at Cardiff when he was really young as well, and now he's starting to demonstrate his full capabilities. We still have to be patient with Lewis, like we have to do with them all, with consistency and his physical maturity as well, and maturity as an individual. But I've been really, really pleased with Lewis, and I can't speak well enough of where he's doing at the minute. Lewis' challenge now is to provide great consistency with the competition that he's got around him. Maturity
is something that's needed in that sort of 10 role, as it were, because things aren't going to go well all the time, and give the challenges of what you're tasked with doing.
Yeah, exactly. And you look, that's why we probably want to bring Aaron Wildigan to have more maturity in that, because you look at last year, we had Ollie, Finn and James who did terrific for us, but now by adding that greater experience in there with Aaron, James has got his experiences, so has Lewis. And we forget Lewis has had successful periods at this football club when him and Podrigamon played up front in those later stages of when the team got to Wembley and lost to Morecambe, that Lewis played a great part in that. And we just got to keep doing what we're doing with the players that we've got, and hopefully we can keep progressing forward.
Good stuff. Cheers for that, and I shall see you up there.
Thank you.
Cheers.